Hello YouTube, welcome back to my moon sign series. Now, this video is not about Leo moon. This video is a redo of Moon in Capricorn. And the reason why I'm making another video on Moon in Capricorn is probably because in the last Capricorn moon video that I did, I felt like it was a really shitty fucking video. And it did not really go into depth about what Capricorn moon is really about. And this is probably very important to me for two reasons, one of which I have a very, very favorite character of mine from a certain anime series that I watch that I've been obsessing over for the longest time, and I'm definitely 100% positive, or at least 99.9% positive, that this character has Moon in Capricorn. And my second reason is also because I am a Draconic Capricorn moon. And Draconic astrology is when they take your north node in your natal chart, move it to the 0 degrees Aries point, and all the planets in your chart shift with the north node. So if your north node is like in like 22 degrees Leo, for instance, and it gets moved to Aries, all the planets move along with it. So in my Draconic chart, I am a Capricorn moon. And Draconic chart, you can study up on a Draconic chart later and figure out more about what is really Draconic chart is really all about and whatnot. It's more so your soul chart. But because of this research, I've decided to make another video on Moon in Capricorn, going really into depth about Moon in Capricorn and giving you a better interpretation of what Moon in Capricorn is about compared to the last video, which I thought was kind of bland and vague and full of stereotypical bullshit. So let's just get started. I feel like there's something in my corner of my mouth and it's the most irritating goddamn thing ever. Anyway, continuing on, Moon in Capricorn. What we have to know about Moon in Capricorn is that Capricorn is an earth sign, it's cardinal, and when the moon is in Capricorn, it's in detriment. Any planet that's in the opposite sign of the sign that it rules is in detriment. For example, the sun rules Leo, so every Aquarius that's born has their sun in detriment. With anybody that has their moon in Capricorn, your moon is in detriment. It means that the sign is not well suited to deal with the sort of energies that come from the planet that's in the said sign. So Capricorn is not the best at dealing with the sort of energies that the moon provides. Well, what is the moon? Moon is our emotional state. It's our emotions. It's how we feel about things. It's our inner world and how we feel on the inside. And whatever sign the moon is in, it shows how we deal with our emotions. And Moon in Capricorn is in detriment because, unlike Cancer, Capricorn is not comfortable with emotions. And what I mean by this is that unlike Cancer, Capricorn is not comfortable with emotional expression. Cancer can be whatever it is. You could be a Cancer moon who can be very calm and whatnot, but when it comes to their feelings, a Cancer moon will typically always feel comfortable in expressing their feelings and showing them unless they don't feel like the other people around them are comfortable with them. Capricorn moon is not like this. Capricorn in general struggles with their own feelings. And a lot of the problems that Capricorn has when it comes to their emotions is maintaining control, because Capricorn in itself is a sign that doesn't like emotions. They're unstable, they're just completely random and provoked by some of the most illogical things out there, and they just sometimes get in the way. I've said this in my previous video, but I'm going to go more into depth about why Capricorn deals with their emotions the way they do. It's similar to Scorpio. Moon in Scorpio is in its fall, which means that it's the most difficult position to have the moon. But there's very different reasons for this. Scorpio is unlike Capricorn, it's very emotional, almost to the point of being like Cancer. But the difference with Scorpio is that they use aggression as a smokescreen to hide how they truly feel. Capricorn just won't let you in no matter what. With Capricorn, you definitely get more of that stone-walled, closed off, nothing their sort of thing that you don't get with Scorpio moon. The Scorpio moon, you can definitely tell that there's a lot going on in them. The Capricorn moon, it's sort of like they just don't let you in, no matter what. And both signs deal with emotional control. Here's the catch: Scorpio moon tends to want to be in control of the situation. They want to have control over other people and whatnot in order to feel emotionally secure in themselves. Capricorn, however, needs constant control over themselves. Capricorn's always in control of themselves, unlike a Scorpio moon, which constantly strives to have everybody else controlled emotionally as they see fit in order to feel emotionally stable, in order to deal with their constant changing emotional swings and whatnot. Capricorn moon constantly feels like they have to be in control of themselves because they can't possibly fathom the idea of their emotions taking control over them. A lot of times this stems from like difficult childhood circumstances. Maybe they grew up with a mother that made them feel like that whenever they dealt with something that emotionally bothered them, that they just were told to like get over it and move on, or it's part of life, or blah blah. And so many times Capricorn moons felt like that they probably couldn't just let their emotions loose. They couldn't just be themselves emotionally, and whenever they had to vent about something emotional that really bothered them, they just didn't have anybody out there that would actually listen to what they had to say, or pretty much made it feel like that them being emotional over things was just some kind of handicap on their lives that they needed to just get over and move on. So most of the time, Capricorn moons don't trust other people when it comes to their emotions. A lot of times, I think Capricorn moon can actually be a lot more secretive than Scorpio. And the only reason I say this is because Scorpios are way too emotional. Sometimes with Scorpio, as much as they try to constantly keep control over everything, it can sometimes blow up in their face because of the fact that they're just too emotional, and their emotional like view of everything just completely clogging up their like view of everything. This just sort of gets in the way, and it can like backfire on them. Capricorn moon just won't let you see it no matter what. Capricorn moon doesn't want you in. Capricorn will only let you in if they really, really trust you. Otherwise, they just don't. They make it seem like that you are a necessity in their lives and that they don't need you. And part of this is because they are going through a lot of things in their head when they're considering how they're feeling about something. And one of those things is, one, they're trying to figure out whether or not you're somebody that they're worth like trusting. Capricorn moons can be very, very, like Scorpio, takes trust and loyalty very, very seriously. And if you don't give them that sort of like trust or feeling that they can trust you like they're looking for, they probably won't bother. And second of all, they don't trust how you're going to react to them, because Capricorn moons constantly have this feeling that if they were to like emotionally break down or go out in an emotional fit or something, people would just like run away from them, or like tell them to get over it, or make it seem like that everything they're pretty much feeling and dealing with is bullshit. In other words, they don't trust what other people have to other people's reactions. I was online reading a forum in the Linda Land forums, and somebody made a note about how they just don't trust how other people react to their emotions, and because of this, they would prefer not to show it at all instead of actually just letting themselves be. And this is a very true statement for Capricorn moon. Capricorn moon doesn't like that. Capricorn moon just doesn't think that other people will respect them the same way or look at them the same way if they like were say to like become like emotionally unstable. This is why they can view emotionally messy situations as just sort of like chaotic and unsettling, because they constantly are striving to not be that way. They're constantly trying to be this sort of like stable mountain of emotion that doesn't like break when it comes to peer pressure. In some ways, this can be a good thing, as unlike some signs that are just gonna fly into a panic and start screaming, having a mental breakdown, or blah blah blah. Capricorn moon isn't just gonna fucking do that. The Capricorn moon is gonna be a lot more serious and stable, probably one of the more level-headed moon signs out of the zodiac that's gonna be focused on what the real priority of the situation is. But it also can be a bad thing, because if there's sort of like emotions underneath that need to be expressed that the Capricorn moon isn't expressing because they're trying so hard to maintain self-control, what ends up happening is that they let these emotions build up to the extreme where they really don't have any self-control, and then they start to question why they don't have the control of their emotions that they do. And it just gets worse, and it gets worse until they just explode and they snap. It all just comes flying out. A Capricorn moon, when pushed to their limits, can be really dangerous. People talk about how Scorpio can be a dangerous sign when you wrong them, and I'm not saying that they're not. Scorpio can be very dangerous and lethal when it comes to pissing them off. Trust me, I know. But like, a Capricorn moon can be very dangerous when you push them to their limits, because unlike a Scorpio moon, a Capricorn moon doesn't give a fuck about what you're dealing with. If they feel like you've pushed them to their limits to where they just don't have any more control over everything that they say, they're just going to pretty much write off everything as if it doesn't matter anymore, because the other person pretty much made it clear to them that it doesn't matter anymore. And they're just gonna fucking be some of the most ruthless, cold, and brutal people that you've probably ever met. And it takes a lot, honestly, to push a Capricorn moon to this state. But when you push them to this state, you really have to let yourself know that it's probably your own fault for pushing them so far, because you just made them feel like that they couldn't. Like, if you make a Capricorn moon feel like that they can't even be in control of how they are around of you, then that's probably showing them that you just are just a bad, toxic person, and you probably shouldn't be around these people. I guess the biggest problem that I think Capricorn moons struggle with is learning to just let their emotions be there without constantly being concerned about how other people are going to receive them, or stay in control of themselves, or being this sort of perfect thing where, like, they don't have emotional breakdowns, or they don't falter, or they don't make mistakes, or they don't just bend and, like, crack. Because what ends up happening is, like I said, they build it up so much that instead of just like having a small setback, it kind of destroys them completely. And so then they just are like completely fucked up for the longest goddamn time, because they just didn't let this stuff flow. Capricorn moon is restrictive. Saturn is restrictive. It's not like the moon, because the moon's changeable. Cancer is changeable. Cancer fluctuates. It constantly goes through different changing moods all the time. Moon in Capricorn doesn't like that. Capricorn's stable. Capricorn wants stability. And emotions aren't stable, so Capricorn tries to control themselves in order to maintain this sort of stability within them that you can't really actually achieve, because that's not how emotions work. You can't stabilize feelings. Feelings are just random. They're unexpected. There are parts of us that react to whatever's going on around us because they're trying to tell us something that we need to know about. But because you're a goddamn Capricorn moon, you think that it's just getting in the way of how you need to live your life, and you have to constantly just sit there and be this sort of perfect person that doesn't have any sort of, like, emotionally faltered situations or whatnot. And the only thing I can say about that is that you're not going to be that person. You're never going to be the strongest steel iron mountain in the fucking entire goddamn world, because it's not going to happen. You have feelings, and those feelings need to be acknowledged. You need to find people that are going to trust in that sensitive side of you, and you need to be okay with yourself letting you have this more sensitive part of you that you may not be okay with typically, because, like, that's all you have. It's the only part of you that you get to live with, and you can't change it, because that's just how you are. So you might as well get used to the fact that this is what you're stuck with. just get used to it. Like I said, Capricorn moon. So basically, if I wanted to go over everything that I literally just talked about in this video, I would probably talk about how Capricorn moon is constantly trying to maintain self-control over their emotions and their feelings because they don't like to be this unstable mountain that's just like crashing down. They feel like that other people won't react. They don't trust other people's reactions to their own feelings. So they constantly just try to like not show it all to people because they don't trust other people's reactions to how they're feeling. And so it takes a long time for a Capricorn moon to open up because they need to find somebody that they trust deep down, who they can be okay with letting that sensitive, vulnerable side of them show. Because Capricorn moons are very sensitive people. They're very sensitive and very emotional. They have a lot of shit that's going on deep down inside of them. They just don't want to show you that because they don't like feeling. They don't like looking like they can't handle it. They want to be they want people to know that they can take it, they can deal with it, they can push through it, because that's what Capricorn moon is for. Capricorn moon is supposed to be the one that can push through anything. And sometimes when it comes to your feelings, there are moments that when you break down into the worst part of yourself and you're really just not able to do it, that you need to admit that, and you need to find people who are going to be there for you when you really can't do it, because that's what your biggest lesson is learning to be vulnerable with those who you can trust. And that's my take on Capricorn moon. I hope you enjoyed this revision of Moon in Capricorn. If you like it, comment what your thoughts were on it, subscribe to my channel. You can check out all my other moon sign videos. I'm not sure when I'll be doing Moon in Leo next. It's another hard one. I'm trying to learn how to differentiate it between Leo sun and whatnot. And I'll talk to you later. So thanks for watching. Bye.